Recovering from a narcissistic relationship can be devastating. It can be painful. Today in this video, I'm going to share with you some tips that's going to help you to overcome the devastation of a narcissistic relationship. The first step to recovering from a narcissistic relationship is to acknowledge the truth. It's so important for you to acknowledge the truth of the manipulation, of the deception, of the lies, of the cheating, and everything else that came with that relationship. It's important that you acknowledge the truth because sometimes you may have dealt with abuse. You may have dealt with some tricks and tactics that this narcissistic person has tried to manipulate you with. And so when you acknowledge the truth, you can set yourself free from being deceived again. You can set yourself free from being tricked again. It's so important that you first begin to analyze what has happened and acknowledge the truth of that. So in a narcissistic relationship, you may also have a habit of judging yourself. It's so important that you begin to understand yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. But it is so important that you become understanding and that you stop judging yourself and accept yourself for who you are. Practicing self-compassion is so important when it comes to recovering from a narcissistic relationship. Self-compassion is important because it helps you to love and nurture yourself. This is so important. See, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you often feel like you're the one to blame because they constantly manipulate. They constantly know how to come against you and turn you even against yourself. That's a lot of what they do. They want you to not see them as the villain, but to see yourself as the villain. And so they're really good at playing the victim. They're really good at making themselves seem as if they're a great person. They're really good at putting their self high on a pedestal so that you can feel more demeaned. And so this is why it's so important that you understand how important it is to have compassion for yourself and practice self-compassion and practice not judging yourself and really paying attention to the thoughts that you have about yourself. Because one of the things that when you're in those type of relationships, it can weigh you down mentally. So you want to begin to reprogram your mind with positive thinking, with positive words of affirmations, with meditations and prayers and journaling and just time to care and love on yourself. Is so important as you go through this recovery that you build yourself up from the inside out. Another thing when recovering from a narcissistic relationship and dealing with a narcissist, you want to disengage. When I mean disengage, you want to remove yourself as much as you can. I talk about a little bit about this in my book, Addicted to Pain, Renew Your Mind and Heal Your Spirit from a Toxic Relationship. And really what I share is to have a no contact zone where you're not in contact with that person. I've talked to many people who say, well, what if you have children with that person? How do you disengage? How do you go through no contact? Let me answer that because I've been hearing that question a lot. When it comes to having children, having a relationship as far as like the father of your children or maybe it's the mother of your children, whoever the narcissist is, you're engaging with them because of the children. But there's a way that you can disengage. There's a way that you can have no contact. Ask a trusted friend or family member to be the middle person. When it comes to contacting you about the children or making arrangements with the children, you have this trusted person who you're communicating with and letting them know in regards to how the other person is going to pick up the kids or have connection with the children where they don't have to contact you, but they can contact that middle person. It could be a grandparent, it could be a best friend, someone who is all about keeping the peace. They don't want to start drama. They don't want to do the he say, she say. They're in that middle. They're that middle person to help you to still have no contact with this narcissistic person. But if they want to have a relationship with their children and connect and contact with their children, they can go through that middle person. Another way you can do it, if you don't mind being the person that they're communicating with, is to keep it business as usual. And what I share is, it's just like having a business relationship. If you have a coworker that you don't really care for or get along with, you're gonna still be professional because that's a job that you're doing, and you have to communicate with that person to get the job done. So you're gonna communicate with that person on a professional level. If you have children with the narcissist and you have to communicate in that way, keep it professional. Keep it all about the kids. Don't get wrapped up into the arguments, the blame, the resentment, the anger, the emotional feelings. You have to cut that off completely when you're dealing with a narcissist person. You have to get to a point where you're not falling into their tactics to get your attention. See, they want your attention. They want the negative energy. They want the frustration and the arguments. They live off of that. They thrive off of that. So you want to make sure that you keep your peace, you keep your calm, and you do not give in. Disengage yourself from giving in. You have to just become like bland, like no feelings, no emotions, no pain, no hurt. You're just communicating for the children's sake. Keeping it professional. If it begins to get out of the professional line, you remove yourself. You hang up the phone, you leave from the place, wherever it is, you want to disengage, you want to protect your peace, and you don't want to give them power over you. Finally, this is very, very important when recovering from a narcissistic relationship. It's going to require you every day to have self-care, every day to practice self-care, every day to nurture and build your mind, body, and spirit. It is necessary for you to do every single day, every single day. I'm telling you, because what happens is you lose yourself in these type of relationships. You lose your confidence. You lose your self-esteem. You lose a lot of your dreams and visions and excitement for life. It can be a very stressful situation coming out of that type of relationship. It is so important. It's like your medicine. It's like what you need to survive. Your self-care is so important. Create a daily routine where you're caring for yourself. One of the things I like to do, I like to start my day off with affirmations. I speak my affirmations, my positive affirmations. I listen to my own voice speak my positive affirmations. I have prayer. I meditate. I journal. I exercise. I love to exercise. I love to stay fit. I take walks. I make art. I relax. I treat myself, to different, relaxation methods. Do what's necessary to care for yourself. This is so important. This is your season, and recovering from a narcissistic relationship, this is your season to nurture, love, and care for yourself. Get back to who you really are. Now, I want to hear from you. How will you protect yourself from a narcissistic relationship? What have you learned? What are some things you've been through? Comment below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your feedback is. What do you think about all of this and what I'm sharing? And also, if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And if you're interested in more videos like this on lessons of love, wellness, and wealth consciousness, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, if you're interested in going even deeper in this topic and learning how to manifest real love, I want to invite you to watch my free webinar, Manifest Your Soulmate, go ahead and click the link in the video description to get access. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.